Hey everyone, it's Ben. I hope you're doing well. We're gonna be flying today, as you can see, obviously. I know I made the video last night saying some flights are coming, and here you go. Just something I wanted to say. I know in past videos I've been very detail-oriented and very on top of things, and I'm gonna continue to attempt to maintain that. But, I just wanted to say, I guess, that, I'm I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself because sometimes I get so lost in the details and the minutia of flying and making sure I'm doing everything right that I kind of lose the enjoyment of it, which is, if you're not enjoying this, then why are you doing it? So I'm really making an effort to just enjoy the process of flying. And so if I'm a little less engaged, for lack of a better term, or a little less talkative, which some of you may appreciate, um, there's a reason for that, and it's just because I'm trying to sit back and relax and actually take in and appreciate what I'm doing. I'm going to still try and balance that, though, with being as kind of informative and detail-oriented as possible, but strike a balance in there. So, just something to bear in mind. And another thing I wanted to say is this is kind of well, I haven't done this in a while, so there's little technical details with the recording with fraps and kind of sound levels. So if the sound levels aren't quite right, meaning if the sim's too quiet, or my mic's too loud, or the inverse of that, whatever, I'll work it out. So I apologize if this isn't quite as polished and nice as previous videos, but I think after 2 or 3 should start to get that level of quality, I hope. At any rate, we're on the ground at Las Vegas McCarran, and we're going to be flying to the northeast up to Denver. It's about an hour and a half long flight. Going to be in the A320, flying for Frontier. With you can see, ooh, can't speak. You can see that awesome vertical stabilizer there. The logo on there, the big old turtle for Frontier. Very cool looking stuff. And I do think we have control online. We are on VATSIM, so we shall see how VATSIM behaves if we have good control. And I believe Los Angeles Center's online, so we'll see. I did attempt to install new. I think you can see it. Oh yeah, there you can see it a bit. The dirty wing texture. So these wings should be a little bit dirtier than the standard. Standard livery, which I think you can actually see a little bit of a differentiation between the fuselage and the wing itself. So that's cool. I don't know if there's much more to say. If there's any questions you have about add-ons and stuff, just ask. But I'm going to try and kind of prune down on how much time I'm doing this. I don't want to ramble on. I definitely have a tendency to do that, and I think I'm probably doing it right now. I think that's the essentials. So the plane is powered up. We have ground power connected and AC unit going as well. You can see the doors are open, so boarding's still in process. We'll hop in the flight deck here after boarding is completed, get everything cleaned up, and start pre-flighting this to get on out of Vegas up to Denver. So I'll see you guys in the flight deck. Alright guys, welcome into the flight deck. Standard Airbus A320 flight deck. You've seen it before. The jetway's moving away. We finished boarding, fuel's on board, passengers and their bags are on board, and the doors have been closed up. So, I'm going to throw on the crew supply oxygen, and let's get the ADIRSs, if I can find them. There we go. Set to nav and get them aligning. On battery. External power's on. It shouldn't be an issue. Set these to nav. There we go, that's extinguished. Oh, it has to cycle through 1, 2, 3. They'll sit on battery for a minute, and then... Cool. There we go. Right, so, with the ADIRSs aligning and we are boarded, we'll throw on the passenger signs later. We don't need to do that quite yet. And the window heat pressurization's all automated in this aircraft. So, let's get down to the radio panel and see if we have clearance to call for. Let us see who's online. A ton of people are online. I suppose we would be handled by... Los Angeles Center, most likely. Yeah, so they're on 125.8. And we're going to call up Los Angeles Center 125.8 and ask him for our clearance. And I'm assuming it's going to be very busy, so we might have to hang in here a bit. Might have to edit this video to give a little bit of breathing room, but let's see. And Los Angeles Center, it's Frontier Flight 11, wondering if we could grab clearance to Denver on the ground at Las Vegas McCarran.
Frontier 11, roger, expect PDC number 3.
Roger. Okay, so we're going to have PDC, which is essentially pre-departure clearance. Let me turn off the frequency so I can speak to you guys. The PDC will be sent through text on vPilot. So essentially he gives you all the information you need on the clearance. It's a streamlined way of doing it, so you don't have to communicate a lot of information via voice. It's just more efficient. So we'll keep an ear out for that. It should come soon. I think he said we're number 3. So in the meantime, we can put in our squawk when we get it, and obviously retune the center when we need to. For the time being, I believe our routing's good to go, so let's go ahead and start to put that in. So we'll come down here to the CDU, and we can go to initialization, and we're at Las Vegas. And we're going to Denver. Flight number is Frontier Flight 11. Which is the call sign. You'd think it would just be Frontier, right? But it's Frontier Flight for whatever reason. The IRS is initialized, and I bet you that was our PDC right there. So let me have a look at that. Okay, so our squawk code is 7175. I'll write that down. We'll put that in a minute. Grab a little more information here. Flight level 370, that's what we filed for. Departure is with him, 125.8. We have the Stav 8, Dove Creek to Wolf to Creed 3. That's the routing we filed for. We'll climb via the SID. We are RNAV compliant. Departure is going to be 26 right. That's fantastic, and that's good to know. Push and start is at our discretion, and we'll contact him with our squawk code and the ATIS when we're ready for taxi. And I don't believe there's actually an ATIS up at Las Vegas, so we'll just tell him we have the altimeter. Let's go ahead and come down the radio panel now. We'll turn the transponder on like so, and we'll put in our squawk, which is 7175. Make sure I got that correct. That would be a little embarrassing if I got that wrong. 7175 is correct. Great, there we are. And 125.8, we'll leave that on the standby. Fantastic. So there we go. We got the clearance. The frequency was just absolutely loaded up because he's a center trying to handle all those procedures down below him. It's a mess, and I respect him for attempting to do that. We'll use the cost index of 35, flight level 370. We're not going to do any kind of initialization requests. Don't need to worry about that. Zero fuel weight should autofill, as should the block fuel, which it does. Fantastic. So, in terms of the flight plan, we're going to be, let me look over here. What do we got? The Stav 8 to Dove Creek, DVC. From Dove Creek, we're direct to Wolf, which is the transition fix for the arrival into Denver. And then we can put in, let's insert that, and then we can put in the departure. Whoops. Come back up to Vegas. Where are you at? There we go. The departure is going to be off 26 right. And it's going to be the Stav 8. Dove Creek transition. We will insert that, and then the arrival into Denver. Let me just check the weather in Denver real quick. Winds are 060 at 17. Okay, so they're shifting a bit. They have multiple runways at Denver. You got 17s and 34s. 060 would slightly favor the northerly runways, which would mean actually mean that our arrival is moot, but we can work with it. They have two different arrivals into Denver, just to give you a little knowledge here. They have the Creed and the Teller, and you can look these up for yourself. They're essentially the same arrival, but tailored for runway procedures. So if we were landing to the north, we'd be on the Teller, and we might have to change that while we're in air, but for now we'll stick with the Creed. But we're going to plan on, let's see here. Let's plan on landing on 35 left would be nice. We'll see how that works out, but we'll plan for it now. So the ILS 35 left, we can find it. There it is. And the arrival, we'll stick with the Creed again, may have to change this. And it's the Wolf transition. And we should insert that, and we should have a good flight plan. Let's just confirm this with the charts, which I have on another monitor. I might edit them in, but that, I don't know, that might be hard work. That sounds really lazy of me. But it also might not be possible. I don't have great video editing software. So off 25 right, we're direct to Leland. Right-hand turn to Thomas at or above 5,000 feet. See if they have that in there. Yeah, plus 5,000 on the altitude constraint. To Betis, at or above 6,000, and at or below 220 knots. To Meadow, to Stav. Let's jump down. There we go. Meadow, Stav. To Trailer, to Nicole, I suppose that is. To Dove Creek, and then we're probably, okay, yep, direct Wolf, and then we have a discontinuity. You can see 2 wolves here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete this wolf. I'm going to delete this discontinuity. And we're going to take that Dove Creek direct wolf, and then we join the arrival, which is the wolf to the Keebler, to Kaufman, to Tuck, to Creed. And then it continues from Creed to Powder to Lesbon, or Lebison? I don't know. Some of these fixes are funny, man. Telred to Moguls, Longs, Grays, Jaime, and then we self-vector or get control vector because Denver is actually online right now. So, did I just hear those reversers pop? They did. They've been kind of sliding a bit. My throttle quadrant and the button press is sometimes triggering the reversers, so I'm trying to keep those slightly shifted forward. At any rate, we got a good flight plan, so initialization, or sorry, performance information rather. We do need to go back and do initialization though. Our CG here is 25.8, so we're gonna look at what that corresponds to. 25.8 right about here, so it's gonna be up 0.5 on the trim. Roughly. So if we go to performance and we find our flap setting and we say up 0.5 to match the CG, like so. Our flex 2 temp is 63, and then our V-speed should autofill 136, 136, 137. Transition altitude is correct, and the CDU pre-flight is pretty good to go there. So let's open up our fuel pumps and start up the APU. Fire up the APU bleed as well. And we'll set the MCP here. Altimeter at Las Vegas is, whoa, pressure's incredibly low at Vegas. 2949, that is really, really low pressure. We'll throw constraints on the left-hand ND, airports on the right-hand ND. Throw in the flight directors as well. Speed is managed, headings managed. Top climb on the departure is flight level 190. So we'll set that on the altitude. Our instructions were to climb via the SID. And that's pretty much good to go for now, so we'll wait for the APU to come up. And then we'll be ready for push and start here shortly. And once we're done pushing back, we can go ahead and call up center again. But it's best to stay off for now, because if we didn't, or if we were listening to him, I wouldn't be able to talk to you guys because those pilots would be screaming the entire time. Alright, APU is on and available, so we'll disconnect external power. And we'll hop down here, see if I can find, whoops, that's the wrong hotkey. Down here to the MCDU menu, options, external controls. Is the parking brake set? It is set. So ground chocks can go, AC can go, and the GPU can go. And we'll fire up the beacon light. The fuel pumps are on. I think we're ready for pushback. Let's get the passenger signs on. Some of the click spots in this plane are a little strange. No smoking. Auto, you're not allowed to smoke on planes anymore. Those switches are kind of irrelevant these days. Right then, so I believe we're set up, ready for push and start here. Sir, the transponder to auto, that's one thing we should do. So transponder set auto now. I do have a checklist, so let's actually use this. Before start checklist, to and then below the line. So flight deck prep is complete, ADIRSs are set to nav. We have our fuel on board, the altimeters are set, and we've gone over the departure. The beacon light, I believe I set that on, if I'm not mistaken. I did. The beacon is on, the signs are on, the windows and doors are closed. Takeoff data set, the thrust levers are idle, the transponder is auto, and the brakes are set for now. We'll release those upon pushback, so we're ready for start. Take a look at the ground chart here just to reference where we are. Figure out which direction. We're going to want our nose, it looks like, to the left. This might be a bit of a long pushback. Let's see what GSX gives us. Prepare for pushback and departure. Frontier is the airline. Okay, sorry about that, guys. There's a bit of an issue with Coadal, which handles... It's like a subsidiary of FS Dream Team that handles all the pushback stuff. Anyway, it isn't behaving right now. So, what we're going to do is... Ooh, that's cool. You can adjust this light. I'm sorry, I'm super distracted. What we're going to do is just push back manually, which I think Shift P, Control P, and then I'll have to update the add-on manager for the next flight. Again, some rough edges here, as I expected. But we're ready for push and start. So how are we going to do this? We're going to... let's think about this, because I normally have somebody else pushing me back. Let's go ahead and release the parking brakes. Let's see, Shift P, if the plane starts moving, it does. Perfect. Set the ignition start switch to ignition, and we'll start engine number 1. And we should see engine indications begin to rise here. N1, N2 rising, beautiful. Oh, we can set the standby altimeter as well. I'm used to the PMDG where that auto syncs, but does not in this aircraft. 2949. Alright, so you can see number 2 coming up, or sorry, number 1 rather. Again, used to the PMDG. Beautiful. So once we have a good start on number 1, we'll start number 2. There it is, you can hear the starter switch cut out, and we'll start number 2. If I can get it. There we are. And up comes number 2. So, this is kind of an interesting pushback here. As we dip our head out, literally out the window. We'll keep going back a bit. The actual taxiway is well behind us right now, so we can go pretty far without bumping into anything, as far as I know. Alright, there we go. We got a good start on number 2. Keep going back a bit here. And then probably... Actually, let's go ahead and stop it here. So we'll Shift P. See if the aircraft wants to stop. Looks like it's slowly creeping to a halt. Yep. And we'll set the parking brake. Beautiful. Good starts on both engines. We'll throw the ignition switch back to normal. We've transferred power onto the, or off of the APU onto the engine gen, so we can turn off the APU and the APU bleed. The packs and the hydraulics are managed. Let's go ahead and set our flaps for takeoff to flaps 1. Trim, again, is up 0.5, so if we click on the flight controls here and then just adjust this trim wheel till it says up 0.5, like so. Trim is set. Let's have a check of the flight controls. We got full movement on the elevator and the ailerons, indeed, and we got full movement on the rudder as well. Great. Adjust my rudder pedals here. Fantastic. So, transponder set. Let's throw on the taxi light. Let's set the auto brake to max. And we'll run the after start checklist. Anti-ice is not required. Pitch trim is set. Rudder trim is 0, and the ECAM status is checked for now. Before takeoff checklist, we check the flight controls. The instruments are good to go. Takeoff briefing, we briefed the departure. We're off 26 right. Flap setting, we have 1 planned. We have 1 set. V-speeds and thrust are 136, 136, and 137. And the ECAM memo, we're standing by in the ECAM memo. This will say takeoff no blue here shortly. So, I think we're ready to taxi on out. We should call him up for that taxi and get on our way. So let's call up center. Again, might have to wait a little while to sneak in there. Center, it's Frontier Flight 11 with the altimeter ready for taxi.
Frontier Flight 11, runway 26 right, taxi via Charlie 2 Bravo.
26 right, rather, via Charlie 2 Bravo for Frontier Flight 11. Okay, so there's our taxi. Spoilers armed. So now we have the ECAM memo.
1536 for the contact 3000, climb maintain plus 360.
Takeoff config is normal. Before takeoff checklist is to the line. And then as we can run the checklist below the line as we approach the runway. So, brakes off. And we're going via Charlie 2 Bravo. Very simple taxi. We're going to swing a hard right here. Need the tiller a bit to make this right-hand turn, and then out to the runway. Frontier Flight 11, short 26 right, fully ready.
Frontier Flight 11, wind is 20015, gusting 28, runway 26 right, clear for takeoff.
26 right, cleared for takeoff, Frontier Flight 11. Okay, let's get out of here. So, enter the runway. Get a bit of throttle. It's been hard to get this plane moving so far. Throw on the strobe. Landing lights, we've been cleared. And we will start the clock down here. I apologize if the sim's a little stuttery. I've just been noticing it's not so much a frame rate thing, it's more of like a micro stutter thing. I'm not really sure what it is. It might be like reading files off the SSD, many potential explanations, but it seems pretty fine. I hope it isn't noticeable.
React 1.
React 1, okay, sir.
Yeah, just confirm you are on the Thorn 3 arrival.
Okay, get it lined up. I'll try my best.
React 1, confirm.
Alright, 50% on 1 now. It's a little hard to get the flex on the takeoff, but we'll try our best to lock it in there.
Delta 2294, turn right heading 220, intercept runway 24 right, low class.
See, it says not flex. We're looking for it though.
Right, 25, incline maintain 5350, needs to expedite
Oh,
that.
we just saw it. Oh my gosh, look at this wind. Holy smokes, we're getting thrown around.
Bell 2526, wind 14010, besting 18 from 248, clear land.
This wind is wild.
248, clear land, Delta 2526.
Alright, let's get off the ground.
Delta 2294, 9 miles from Jetson, maintain 2,500.
Holy smokes.
568 on from 248 approach.
It's a crosswind off the, we got a positive rate gear up. Off the left-hand side of the plane, they're gusting at like 20 knots, I think. See if I can find the flex 2 temp. There it is. I'm sorry about that, guys. That was a little rough. But, got it off the ground alright. Holy smokes. I'm gonna throw in the autopilot, because I don't trust myself flying this thing right now. We'll wait for climb thrust to be enunciated. We can disarm the spoilers. Alright, there we got climb thrust. See if we can find
React
it.
1.
There we go. Climb thrust in.
React 1 100.
Yeah, not sure where you're going. You're not even close to the arrival, the Thorn 3 arrival. You're way off to the north.
Bring up some flaps.
Yeah, React 1, just continue. Turn left now, 20 degrees. Turn left 20 degrees for traffic, please.
React 20, React 1.
Okay, so the gear is up. Auto brakes off. Spoilers disarmed.
Engine 1225, wind is 1010.
Flaps are retracted, and we cleaned up the lights. We'll get off the landing lights at 10,000 feet.
American 1225.
Now we just wait for ATC to give us higher.
Frontier Flight 11, radar contact altitude.
5,200 for Frontier Flight 11.
Frontier Flight 11, radar contact 5,300, climb maintain until 190.
190, Frontier Flight 11.
Delta 2294, wind is 140.
Okay, so we'll keep it at 190 as per his instructions, and we're on our way. Hey guys, welcome back into the flight deck. So we're up here at 370, coming up on our top of descent. Denver Center went offline, so we're going to be uncontrolled on the approach as of now, as far as I can tell. Yeah, nobody is controlling Denver. So let's just quickly prep for the descent. So we'll reset the MCP altitude down to 11,000 feet for now, since that's where we'll spit out on the star, and then we'll drop it from there. The ILS frequency and course, let's hop down here to find that. Radio and nav, and for 35 left, IAQD with 108.5, that is correct. And the inbound course is 353, so format error. Here's what we can do. We can say IAQD for the identifier, and the course is 353. Whoops. Try that again. 353. There we are. Okay, the ILS frequency and course is in. We have a lot of runway to play with, 12,000 feet. However, the further that we roll, I think the longer of a taxi we're going to have, and Denver has some ridiculous... Actually, that's not true. The further we roll, the shorter the taxi will be. Good to look at the ground chart. We use an auto brake setting of low in that case. Now we'll come in and put some information here. Performance information, we'll hop through to the approach, put in some approach information. So, the current altimeter at Denver is 2968. The winds are crazy. I'll tell you those in a minute. 2968. The temperature is 23 Celsius. The winds are 060 at 23, gusting 30. We're going to have a crazy crosswind on this approach. Hopefully we get down safely. I'm a little concerned, but I think we'll be alright. 060 at 23. Transition flight level is correct. The approach speeds are fine. We'll be landing flaps full. Actually, with winds like that, I think we should land flaps 3. A little less flap for the wind to catch on to. Probably be a good idea. If the winds die down, then we'll go config full, but with those winds, let's go for config 3. And our minimums are 5,634 feet, which is 200 feet above the runway, is when we need to be visual. And I assume we will. It's visual conditions. So, basically on the approach, it's just going to take us in the star and then a left-hand turn right onto final. It's nothing complicated. I don't even think we're going to have to self-vector ourselves, really. It'll just kind of fall into our laps. And our landing speed there is 136 with config 3. So, throw in the passenger signs as we're getting ready to go down. You can see the sun setting. I wonder if it's going to be a night landing. I'll see if that sun's down by then. It'll be interesting. It might be. And yeah, I'll see you guys as we're getting near the airport. Okay guys, welcome back into the flight deck. We're just wrapping up the star here, and as I wasn't recording, Denver Center came back online, so we do have control. We got the speed at 210, we're going down to 13,000 here at Crag in a managed descent. And then we're just going to be turning left. You can see here turning left onto final. The winds are insane, the pressure's low, this is going to be a dicey arrival. And since the landing elevation is quite higher, I'm going to...
Frontier 11, descend and maintain 8,000, turn left heading 030, vector to final approach course.
Left 030 and down to 8,000, Frontier Flight 11. So we'll listen to him, we'll go left 030 and descend down to 8,000. We do have the speed brake out, so I'll stow that. We no longer really need it at this point. But what I was saying is, since the landing elevation's higher, we'll turn on the landing lights now, so we have a bit of lighting, or the landing lights at a proper altitude, because 10,000, but if you're landing at 5,000 feet, obviously. I think we might still need some spoiler to initiate this descent, get into it a bit better. So we did reset the pressure to the pressure at Denver, which is 2968. And start to pull out some flaps here in a moment. Or actually, sorry, we already have flaps 1 out.
Aircraft calling in 50340, say your call sign.
So we're about 20 miles out from the field.
Roadrunners 3833.
There's another airfield right there, not sure what that is.
Denver Center, American 8475, lining up for takeoff, runway 8.
My throttles just give out.
American 8475, squawk 1460.
There we go. Click them back in. This plane's a little finicky
1460,
sometimes.
8475.
United 707, center radar
We do have a
contact,
20
pilot
knot,
maintain,
18
flight level
knot
360.
tailwind pushing us pretty hard right now.
American 8475, heavy runway 8, clear for takeoff, 1060.
Activate approach. Throw on the landing system.
8475, clear for takeoff, runway 8.
Right, you can see we're below the glide, and the localizer is being picked up. Beautiful. This slight hang up as the scenery loads in here. And for whatever reason, the autopilot decided to just give out. This has been happening a lot. This plane has been bugging me, and quite frankly, I'm not enjoying flying it, if I'm being honest. It's very finicky and touchy, and maybe it's a hardware issue or I need to reinstall, but it's been a pain, to say the least. Let's drop the speed down to 190.
An 8475, radar contact, say altitude.
American 8475, crossing 6,700.
American 8475, pilot maintain flight level 340.
Alright, see if we can put these spoilers away.
340 on Roger, radar contact, American 8475.
Take the speed a bit down to 180, and we'll drop flaps 2 here in just a moment.
Denver Center, Roadrunners 3833. You'll see my call sign is PIN Pacific 2500.
Flaps 2.
Frontier Flight 11, turn left heading 020, intercept runway 35 left localizer.
Left 020 on the localizer for 35 left, Frontier Flight 11.
Roadrunner 3833, thanks. Yeah, I gotcha. I just didn't realize that it was PIN.
Okay, copy. I just wanted to make sure that you knew where I was. Roadrunners 3833.
About 12, 13 miles out from the field. I think we can see it out there.
Frontier 11, 10 miles from Diamond, maintain 8,000 until established on the localizer, cleared ILS, runway 35 left approach.
8,000 till established, clear the ILS 35 left approach, Frontier Flight 11. Okay, we'll maintain 8,000, we'll punch approach. Glide slope is live. I just triggered my Alexa Echo. That's, you guys probably heard that. Let's hope she shuts up. I'm gonna just turn us left 5 degrees to help grab the localizer here. There we go, got the localizer. There's the field in sight. Down comes the glide. Glide slope captured. We'll drop the gear and arm the spoilers. For whatever reason, we don't have an auto brake set. I'm not sure why. I'd set that earlier. And
Air Flight 11, wind 060 at 23, gust 30, runway 35 left, clear to land.
35 left, cleared to land, Frontier Flight 11. Alright guys, wish us luck because this wind's wild, so.
Southwest 5737, fly, or
Clear to land.
Right, clear for takeoff.
Get the lights on.
060 at 23, gust 30.
So I can reach that one. Nope.
Clear for
Try this
takeoff,
again.
runway 34 right. So fly heading 060.
There we go.
So 5737 negative, just fly the departure. I was about to give you a heading and then I realized you were on an RNAV.
We'll push speed, reduce down to final approach speed.
Okay,
Take flaps 3. And we need to come up here and say that we're config 3. Let me see if I can find this. Landing flaps 3 because that's what we're configured for with the wind. So landing flaps are set. Final approach speed is set. Lights are on, gears down, spoilers armed. We're fully configured. Let's just set the missed approach altitude. It's 10,000 feet.
No, no, United 707, like, step away from Hillside. Say again? United 707, like, step away for a couple minutes.
Oh my gosh. There comes that crosswind.
Yeah, United 707, report back.
I'm already stressed out. Holy smokes.
1,000.
I'm gonna let the plane fly itself down and we'll take it late because I think I might completely blow this. I don't want to sound too modest, but this is terrifying.
Flight 20 Bravo, turn right heading 250, runway 9er, clear for takeoff, wind 060, direction wind 040 at 16, gust 24.
Alright, so I'll take it out at around, I don't know, 400, 500 feet. Where it's just under 700 right now. Holy smokes. Alright, here we go. My aircraft. Flight directors and landing system out. Actually, yeah, we're fine. Maybe.
400.
Airbus Central,
Gee
good evening.
whiz.
This is United 1241.
100 above.
United 1241 Denver Center, squawk 1430.
Minimum.
1430, United 1241.
Southwest 5737, radar contact, say altitude.
Seeing 7,000,
40.
37.
20. Retard.
Southwest 5737, radar climb and maintain
Oh,
flight
we
level
made it.
230, when able, squawk 1420.
140.
Legitimately stressed right now, guys. Reversers are out. 80.
Frontier Flight 11, turn left when able, taxi parking this frequency.
Okay, left one able and we'll taxi to parking, staying with you,
There you go.
Frontier Flight 11. Alright, we're gonna roll down to the next left exit, which is right here.
Denver Center, Roadrunners, 38.
Holy smokes, guys. I'm glad we got down safely. I was legitimately afraid that we might not.
Roadrunners 3833, descend at pilot's discretion, maintain flight level 240.
But we did it?
240, Roadrunners 38.
Alright. Let's get the aircraft cleaned up.
There's
Well,
wind shear alert there coming off.
I'll do that and taxi on in, and then I'll see you guys at the gate. Let's go with that. Alright guys, welcome to Denver. It was, yeah, a little rough around the edges, but I'm not going to be too hard on myself about that. First recorded video in a while. I hope when this is up that you guys enjoy it. As always, your thoughts and feedback are very much welcomed. It's what makes it fun talking to you guys. So leave any comments. I'll put, obviously, social media links below in the description if you want to check out Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, what have you. And yeah, hopefully have another video coming soon. I'm not sure where. You're welcome to put requests in the comments. I can't promise I'll fly it because I might not have scenery for the airport. It might be unreasonable to do, but I'll at least read them. And there's some potential I might do the flight that you want to see. So thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Have a great day and or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you next time. So long.